Hi guys, it's Sweety Pie and welcome back to my channel. And if you can't see him, but Tigger, he's like right over here. Come on, do you want to introduce the video with me? Come here. Oh, this is Tig, and I can never get him up into the camera because he's always petrified. Who's that? He's looking out the window. Who's that? Alright, you go down. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the Huda Beauty Nude Palette. I'm going to show you swatches, I'm going to talk a little bit about the palette, and yeah, then if you guys would like to see how I created this look, then I will definitely show you that video. It should be right here. I got cat hair everywhere. I'm starting to do my palette reviews a little bit differently. I want to give you information about the palette. I want to tell you about what shades I really loved in the palette, and I also want to show you how they applied, but that makes for a really long video. So I hope you guys enjoy, oh, cat hair everywhere. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of a new way, and if you would rather me put the look into this video, then let me know. Comment down below, all that good jazz. But yeah, today we're gonna do it the new and improved way. I'm gonna show you swatches. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the shades that I have loved in this palette. Her palettes always have the most interesting formulas, and I still have cat hair. The most interesting formulas, and yeah, I want to talk to you guys about it. I also have her Desert Dusk palette, which would be a really beautiful accompaniment. Honestly, it is also a purpley palette. This one is definitely a purple palette. That's why I loved it so much. Matt bought it for me for my birthday, and yeah, when he was like, I'll buy it for you, I was like, hell yes. So like, as you can see, these would be perfect together. Lots of purpley tones. If you love purple, this is definitely going to be good for you. Yeah, let's go into this palette. Let's do some swatches. Let's talk about ingredients, and not that I know too much about ingredients, but there are... Tigger! He's messing with my background now. Anyway, guys, holy, I'm sorry he was such a little runt. But yeah, let's get into this review. First things first, as Tigger freaks out because there's a dog outside. I hope you can't hear that. First things first, as always, I am going to pull out the handy dandy notebook, and we're just going to go over price and where you can purchase this and all that good stuff. So the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk, the Huda Beauty New Nudes palette was $85 Canadian, and that's why I got it for my birthday. And I got the Desert Dusk for my last birthday. Who would have thought? Anyway, it was $85. It doesn't say limited edition, so I don't think this is a limited edition product. Some of her smaller palettes, like these ones, I think these ones are still available, but like I think she does have limited edition palettes when it comes to those little Obsessions palettes. The way she puts it is they are like the game-changing new nudes, and it really is kind of like a cool and warm-toned dream with more, like, I don't know, purple is really in the middle because it like combines red and blue. So yeah, new nudes. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying. And I did, when I did buy it in store, I swatched it and I was like, wow, I need to have this. I really do love Huda Beauty's matte formula. It's made from cornstarch, and it's not normally something that I see a lot in palette ingredients. A lot of the time they use talc. There are a few that I've seen, but Huda Beauty's mattes are especially, like, they kind of remind me of cornstarch because on the tops of the mattes, you'll get kind of a more scratchy feel. Like, they're not like buttery smooth mattes on your finger, but they blend like no tomorrow. So I kind of feel like the cornstarch mattes blend a little bit better, and they are so much more pigmented. These are very Anastasia Beverly Hills pigmented. They have a little bit more fallout, so you do have to be careful. There is 10 mattes, 4 duochromes, which is the pressed pearls that everybody's been going crazy about. They have 2 glitters, 1 pressed pearl, and 1 concealer shade. I have been using this for 2 weeks now about. I have done quite a few looks on Instagram. If you'd like to go check out my Instagram, it is always linked down in the bottom. This was made in Italy, just like her Desert Dusk palette was made in Italy. It has dimethicone, cornstarch, mica, ultramarines. There's a 12-month shelf life, which most of us do not care about. There are 19.7 grams in the entire palette, so each eyeshadow is about 1.094 grams, which is about 1 gram, which is smaller than, I think, like a lot of eyeshadows. I think that, let's just pull out, I've got the Just Peachy, let's see if it says on it. They're 1.25 grams a piece, so they're smaller eyeshadows, but honestly, that does not matter to me anymore because I've got more eyeshadow than 20 people could use in a lifetime. So if that matters to you, there isn't a whole ton of product in this palette, but each shade, I was rounding it up to see how much each shade would cost you, and it was about $4.70 Canadian for each shade, pressed glitters, pearls, all that good stuff. So I think that is all I really have for information about this palette. Let's get on to the stuff that everybody really wants to see. Swatches. I'm going to talk about which ones I really, really loved. And I'm just going to take apart the 4 different formulas she has in here and, you know, give a chat about them. And the way I want to do this is I'm going to swatch them all for you, and I will dub in my beautiful voice so that you guys, as we swatch them, can, you know, hear about what I feel about each individual shade. And yeah, let's get into this because I'm excited.
Alright guys, so now we're going to swatch the new Nudes palette by Huda Beauty, and we're going to start with the first 5 shades in the top row. This includes some pressed pearl shades and some matte shades. Now, when I swatch, I try to swatch as fairly as possible. I hate swatches, honestly, but I love doing them. And that's the sad thing, is swatching is really fun and it's kind of an art, but people put this bad stigma on it. So if you don't like them, sorry, but I try to be as fair as possible and, you know, honestly show the shadow. Now, I do not use any primer. And the first shade I am putting on with a brush is Bare. It's just your all over the eye shade. It's super pretty, very, very, like, you know, you could set your lid with it. It's not overly pigmented, but I think you could make a very pretty matte look with it. Then you have Crave, which is one of those pressed pearl shades. It's hard to explain. It's a gold, yet it has like the peach reflex in it. It's a very pretty duochrome shade, and all of the duochromes in this palette are very like natural duochromes. There's no like blues or anything like that. They're very like almost what you would find in highlighters. The next one is Play, which is your just standard peachy matte. It was very pigmented, could be built up quite good. Like, I was surprised at how well this could be built up. And then we have Fantasy. Fantasy is so pretty. Oh, I just swatched it on my hand, and it is such a pretty, it's like a burgundy and a pink. And then last we have Love Bite, which is one of my favorite colors in the palette. It's the one right at the end there, and it is like your purpley burgundy. So, 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 so pretty. Next 5 shades we have some mattes, and I think one of the glitters at the end. So the first one here is Spanked, and I'm just swatching that with no primer and just a finger swatch. Then we have Lace, then Daydream, and Tickle, and then the first glitter in the palette, Excite. And then we're just going to brush swatch them. Again, there's no primer. This is not the way I would apply eyeshadows, and I think it shows in the swatches because they are so much more pigmented on the eyes, and they kind of, I don't know, they just go on a little differently when you're trying to put them on your bare skin. Also, trying to pick up the shimmers with a brush, I don't really recommend, especially those pressed pearl ones. You'll see in my brush swatches that they just weren't that pretty with a brush, but I think when you pack them on with your finger or like a silicone applicator, they're amazing. Absolutely beautiful. And then that glitter, I really think that it's good to use a glitter glue, but I think you can also use no glitter glue with these. All right, the next row we are going into includes her pearl shade, or what is it called? Goodness gracious. Pressed pearl, yes, that's what they call. And it also includes the concealer in the palette, which literally doesn't have much color to it at all. The first glitter, or I should say the second glitter in the palette, but the first glitter in this row is called Infatuated, and it's a light pink glitter. It's super, super pretty, and again, these have some stick to them, which really confuses me. Then we have Kinky, which is like the pressed pearl. It is so soft to the touch. It is a buttery shadow. It's so satisfying, and it glides on the eyes really beautifully. It's this burgundy, super, super pretty. Then we have the concealer shade. As I said, you can't even see it. Then we have Secret, and lastly, Tease. And they're just your standard kind of, brown-ish cool tone shades. Last three in the palette are Raw, Charmed, and Teddy. Now, this bottom row, they're just your really staple shades, to be honest. There's, a couple cooler tones, a couple warmer tones. They work beautifully, and I don't have any qualms with them, honestly. I think all the mattes work exactly the same in this palette. I really, really do enjoy Huda's mattes. Do you need this palette? Probably not. I think that the textures in here are really beautiful, and if you've never tried anything from her, it might be a good idea if you have $85 to spare. And the pressed pearls, oh, they're so pretty, honestly. Swatch it in store if you want. Anyway, we have Charmed, and it is your last duochrome. Look at how pretty that looks. It shines so beautiful. And that's the end of this palette, guys.
Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this review. Remember, if you'd like to see these shadows in action, link that right here, or it will be at the end of this video in one of these boxes around here. Make sure you click on it and you can see me put this look on. I used pretty much I used all the formulas. I used 9 out of the 18 shades in the palette. So yeah, if you guys want to see that, make sure you click below. I'm sorry I did not have a lippy on in this video, but I just finished swatching like literally 15 of the Physicians Formula Velvet Matte Lips on my lips. I did the whole collection. I got an entire collection of minis for Christmas. Well, it wasn't for Christmas, but it was a Christmas release. I will link that video. Alright guys, well I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever, wherever you are. And yeah, happy makeup. Mwah! Bye!
Knitting. Oh look, he's a biter. He's a biter. He's a biter. He's kind of a bit of a bitchy cat. See, he does not like me doing this. But he's wondering what the... Oh, look. Oh, I'm gonna get whacked. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Sorry, my baby.